Hello, everybody. I'm Kelly Marisha, the Mental Manifester, and this is day 6 of deprogramming from religious thoughts and ideals that people carry with them sometimes unknowingly when they journey into the world of spirituality. And so today, the topic is going to be talking about. I have a friend with me. Yay! I have my friend with me, and she's going to tell us what the topic is about, and then you're going to hear us discuss and just kind of break down for the next couple of minutes why this is so important to identify and to make sure that you are not still doing this while you're journeying into spirituality. So go ahead.
Hello, everybody. My name is Shay Lorick. I am so grateful to be able to talk to you all today and chat here with my sister. Yay! And I am so just excited about the work that she's doing, and like she legit cares about guiding us and helping us through this transition, because it really is a transition. It's not for the faint of heart, but it's like you cannot turn back. It's like once you taste and see, it's like you can't really go back and unsee or unawaken or go back to sleep. Because when you wake back up, you're going to be like, okay, that wasn't a dream. So this is a necessary thing, and she's offering this for you for free right now. So I would encourage everybody to just share, follow, like, subscribe, check out her programs. Like, she has some amazing stuff going on right now with the coaching and the readings and just the guidance that she's offering to walk you through this journey.
Thank you.
So yeah, I just wanted to put that plug right there.
That's my girl.
She's amazing. So what we are going to talk about today is really, as you're looking at walking out into spirituality, some of the things you might be struggling with if you're coming from a really religious, churchy background. One of the things that we have been discussing in the past couple of days is really the concept that church or religious socialization tends to have this whole set of rules and regulations, guidelines, laws, policies, codes of conduct, orders that not many can live up to consistently.
That's right.
Probably not anybody could, but I could probably name, maybe on one hand, maybe not including even the thumbs, who has been able to live up to some of these things and even still no. When we talk about the law, we're going to talk about the Bible. So when we talk about the law of God, a lot of people like to think about the 10 Commandments, right? Exodus, 20? Thou shalt have no other gods before me, blah, 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 all the way up until 10. But really, what the law consists of is the Jewish law consists of about 600 laws.
My God.
And if you read the book, the Pentateuch, and those first 5 books of the Bible, you're really going to get into most of those laws, and you probably skipped over most of them because it's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot.
And a lot of it really doesn't necessarily apply in this day and age. It does in a roundabout way, but the bottom line is, who can live up to 600 and some odd laws?
Child, I can't live up to 3.
Right. So in the sense that we're saying is that a lot of times religion and church puts us in this box where if we don't fulfill everything according to what our pastor or our leaders or our first ladies or our Sunday school teacher has taught us, then we are not necessarily looked upon well within the church. Now, the flip side of that is that some people get a license to do this. Usually if you're a higher ranking, and I'm coming from a military background as far as my job. So when we talk about rank, we talk about, leadership, apostles and teachers and bishops and prophets and all of such. And they tend to get a little bit of a license to do some of these things. But I think that's proof that really it's impossible for any one person to fulfill 600 laws. Mm-hmm. Not to mention those that are discussed later on in the New Testament. And so even Paul talks about what the law could not do and that was weak through the flesh. And that was the point of Christ coming at that time, because we cannot meet that standard.
And so it's important that as you're going into spirituality and you're now understanding sovereignty, let's switch it over to spirituality. Sovereignty is basically you realizing, and divinity, sovereignty and divinity is realizing that there is no God outside of you, but you are God. Recognizing that, we have a beautiful little co-host over here. So, but recognizing your divinity, recognizing that you are God, and recognizing that you don't have to do anything. And why this is important. Let me tell you why this is important. Because when you go into spirituality, you see so many you realize there are divisions and breakdowns and sects inside of spirituality. You'll start meeting people. Well, this person belongs to this. This person belongs to this. This person belongs to this. And you all think we're all speaking the same language and we're all namaste and we're all spiritual together and meditating and chakring. But then they'll start telling you, you have to do something this way. You have to do stuff this way. You have to follow this. And whenever somebody is starting to tell you, because you are sovereign, so you don't have to do a damn thing. Whenever people start giving you a bunch of things that you have to do in order to get God's attention, or have to do in order to get your ancestors' attention. First, it's your ancestors. You just have to, good morning, ancestors. Thank you, ancestors. You don't have to really do anything. Now, when you start to understand energy and you want to intensify energy, there are things that you can do to intensify energy. But just the initial contact with your ancestors, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to put food out for them. It's good to put food out for them. But let me just tell you something. Let me say this. The mental manifester was given to me by my ancestors. Now, what you need to remember is that your ancestors are going to do it different, and my ancestors are going to do it something different. But what my ancestors spoke to me in May of 2019 was, you teach the people how to do things in their minds. Teach people how to do things using just their bodies and their beliefs and their faiths. Because there are going to be times where you don't have the money to go buy candles. You don't have the money to do this. You don't have the resources to do this. You don't have the time. What if you're in Walmart and you need to evoke something very quickly, and I don't have time to go through a set of this order that you're saying? I don't have time for that. I need to be able to tap in and reach this immediately. And the thing is that you have the capacity, you have the strength, you have the power to tap in anything. And there's not a list of things you have to do. There's nothing you have to wear. There's nothing that you cannot wear. There's let's see, I'm trying to think of some things that you'll kind of hear in spirituality. You don't have to smoke anything if you don't want to. But even if you do smoke something, that's amazing. If you do, you don't have, there is not a list of rules and things that you have to do to tap into source. Because at the end of the day, you are source. You are always connected to source energy. And at any given time that you want to center yourself, balance, and connect back to source, you are able to do that. There are no rules. There are no list of things and requirements and, turn 3 ways, kick your left heel up. You don't have to do any of that bullshit to be able to tap in and access your power.
Right. And I'm glad you said that, because a lot of times when we see people that are coming from a religious background into spirituality, they have a hard time making that shift.
Because they're comfortable.
And then they start asking, like, what do I need to do? Can you give me something?
It makes you not trust yourself.
Exactly.
When you go through all these rules, it's like you're depending on these rules to give you access. Right. You're depending on these rules to make things happen for you, but it's all the while causing you not to trust yourself and not trust what your spirit team is telling you. And that is true. Shay and I both are leaders in our own respect. And so every day we have people, hey, I saw this. Is this right? Yes, it's right. Did your people show it to you? Then it's right. There are no written hardcore rules. Now, let me say this. There are universal laws, but here's the difference between laws and the universal laws or principles. I don't like to use the word laws. I like to use the word principles, because principles are, whether you acknowledge them or not, they are, and they're universal. They're for everybody. No group is excluded from it. Anybody from any ethnicity, creed, tongue, it doesn't matter. You can learn these universal principles and access them and work them for your greater good. But they are not anything it's not anything you have to do. They just are. There's nothing that you have to do on a daily basis. Like, I got to remember and go through these universal rules. That's not like that. You just know that they exist. And so as you are going through your normal life, you remember that those principles exist and see how you can move them and alter them to get things in a favorable outcome of what you want. So
we have to remember that a lot of this was hidden from us. It was purposely hidden from us so that we wouldn't be able to heal ourselves, so that we wouldn't be able to tap into these things that people of a higher caliber, quote unquote, that we think are, like I said, higher ranking people, or people in high political office, or people with wealth, that they understand these principles. Absolutely. But a lot of times, because we come from middle class or lower class or whatever backgrounds, it's the fact that we have not been educated. We have not been, and in fact, we've been excluded purposefully from these principles. I think also it's like our education system is set up to where we are learning certain things, but we're not realizing, like we tend to think, oh, well, we'll never use this in the real world. Why are we learning this? Why are we learning that? And we never apply any of these universal principles that we're learning. And we've heard of these things, but we're not applying them to like our physical or spiritual lives. Absolutely. And when we can make those connections between science and how things work, like we are in this world, we are in this physical realm, we can benefit from these things. So we have to realize that a lot of this is old, ancient information that we are just now coming into the knowledge of. It's always been there. It's just been hidden from us in plain sight. That's really. Right.
And it's important to remember, I'm going to wrap it up. It's important to remember that if ever people come to you, especially when you're new to this, no matter who you're talking to, if they start giving you a set of things and guidelines and things that you have to do, I want you to run, okay? I want you to know that that's cultish behavior, honestly. And that goes for every religious system that has a set of rules that you have to, and spirituality. That's huge.
Clouded in religion.
And that's why this topic is so important, because this concept will sneak over into spirituality, and you're so used to and comfortable for these rules and these guidelines, you basically trade one set of rules for another. And so I want you to be very mindful to do not trade one set of boundaries and perimeters for another set of boundaries and perimeters. Spirituality is freedom. Spirituality is self-mastery. Spirituality is recognizing your own divinity. Spirituality is setting yourself back as the God that you are. Spirituality is trusting yourself and your spirit team that is riding for you. That's what spirituality is. It is not designed to be a place where you question yourself even further. It's not designed. There's one more thing that I need to say before I go. It's also not designed for you to live a double life. We were talking about that before, where basically because you know these set of rules that you cannot live up to, or that you don't fucking want to live up to, because I don't want to do that. So, and it's going against your very nature. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. You're telling me I have to do it. My spirit team is telling me I don't have to do that, or I'm getting a feeling like I don't want. Why would you press against yourself? You're learning how to trust yourself, self-mastery. Anything that's making you press against yourself, question, doubt, or just operating to a point where you're going against alignment. You're going against what your higher self is leading you and allowing you to feel. Those kind of rules you need to be mindful of, because those types of rules cause you to almost lead, like Shay and I were talking earlier about a second life, a double life, where you live one side one way within the ramification of the rules, but you're still not free. Because anytime that you have to hide and can't fully be yourself because of some rules, question it. Question it. That's the whole point of this video. Question everything. Watch out for rules. Watch out for there's a book that I want you guys, and I'm going to tell you, I'm not a very big reader. I'm going to be honest. I did a video about that before, and nobody's going to punk me or bully me and make me think that I have to sit and read a whole bunch of books and have a library. I don't. I meditate. I do what you can't do. And I mean, I can meditate for hours. You hear me? The point I'm trying to make is that I want you, there's a book that I want you to read. I believe it talked about 11 signs of a cult. And whenever you see those 11 signs, these are things that you just need to be mindful of. And let me tell you one last thing, and then I'm gonna close, right? Spirituality is not perfect. Nobody, because at the end of the day, you're dealing with humans, and humans can always put their biases and always put their spins on things, okay? At the end of the day, you just remember this: your spirit team is never going to lead you wrong. Ask your team, am I supposed to be doing this? Is this the way I'm supposed to go? Is this the way that y'all want me to do this? If you don't feel comfortable in your gut, move on, and move on quickly. There are no rules. There is nothing you have to do. You are God. You are sovereign. So make sure, thank you very much for following. Make sure that you like, you share, you subscribe this video to this channel. Keep abreast of what's going on, because this is day 6, so we have 5 more days to go. That's it. I love myself. I love you. Shay, you got anything?
No, I love you, Kelly. I love everybody.
Yay! Woo! All right, guys. I love you. Take care. Bye-bye.